So in this example, what we're going to do is read a record from a file, and we read those records in using our structure from two examples previous. So we called this info, and we have a character array for name, an int for age, a character array for address 1. Now I'm sure you remember. And we have two function prototypes here. The first of them is to return a long that lets us know where the record starts. So we're going to get to that in a moment. And we also have a void show record that takes info, and info, you'll remember, is a structure that we have created. So let's look at this one just as so this is from line 19, show record, and that is down here on line 58. All we are doing is we are passing to this function a structure, and that structure we can refer to the individual members of that structure by their name. So that works out really great, and I'm sure you recall that from the last time. What we're adding to this is the idea of moving from one record to another record to another record. And lest we forget, this is our people.dat. You'll notice that it is all contained in one line of code. So again, this is not going to be developer readable in any real sense, right? Once we get millions of records in here, you're going to look at this and go, nah. But what we do know is how many characters this array is. What we do know is how many characters this character array is. What we do know is there's the phone number is characters too. We do know that age is stored as a 67 right there. Age is stored as an integer, and we'll know how many. We know how big byte-wise that storage is. So if we know the size of each one of these records, we can use the size of the structure to go from one record to another record to another record just based on the structure size. So that's exactly what we're doing here. We are opening again that file for reading as binary, and we are calling it people. Here is a neat little test for error. If not people, that works much, in much more truncated a fashion than does the previous method with the of stream and if stream that we could do checking for that file. So here we have seek G again, because what we're going to do is if we want record number 1, we are going to seek through people. And remember again that people is the name of our people.dat. Not my favorite name for that. I should have changed it by now. And we are going to search from the beginning, but we need to know where to start from. Because remember, record number 1 is not the first record. Record number 0 is the first record. So we need to return a byte number for that. We need to know where to start. So here, if I'm looking for record number 1, I'm going to pass to byte number, our function, that record number 1. And here you can see that the mechanism we're using is return size of info times record number. So what we're saying is here is info. That is our structure. So what it's returning is the name or the size of our structure times 1. So that will mean it starts after our first structure. Remember, because the first structure is 0. So if we needed to do this with structure or record number 2, we could do that because it's going to return to us the third record. This is really a remarkably nice way to be able to do that. So then what we'll do is we will, once we've determined that, okay, this is our first record, which remember again is really record number 1 really is the second record in our file. So once we have that figured out, we are going to move the seek head essentially to this address. And then what we're going to do is we're going to read. So people.read, the last time around we had people.write. And this time around we have people.read. And we're going to reuse that reinterpret cast character pointer and a reference to person, which again, remember that person is a structure that we're having here. So let me just run this, and what we will see is here is record number 1, Meredith Murney. If I come back to people, Meredith Murney, you'll notice, is record number 1 because Charlie Baxter is record number 0. So we did in fact get, and we'll come back through here, we did in fact get by calling to that read, we've got person in here now. So now I can send that data to show rec, so that's show record, right? To show record. And here, because I have a structure for person, I know that I have these members in the structure. So here inside of show record, because I have a record that I was passed as a parameter, I have record.name, record.age, record.address1, record.address2, and phone. So that is, these data that are, those are these data elements here that you can see in the output. So we are returning a person structure. We are doing that based on their bitwise location in the file. The file is stored as binary. So this, the seek-g and the read portion there, enables us to move freely about our file without having to do it concrete sequentially from top to bottom exclusively in that order.